A woman stands at the edge of a pond, alone. Her rubber boots are caked in mud as the dawn light cuts through a thick fog. She's looking for something, probing the dark, still water with a long wooden stick. She doesn't know that we already found what she's looking for 3 days ago, 20 feet down, right where she's standing. Her name is Darlene Gentry, and this is how we proved she murdered her husband. It started on March 15th, 2005. Just after 6 a.m., a 911 call came in from Robinson, Texas. The voice on the line was a woman's, and it was calm. Too calm. "My husband's been shot," she said. "The back door's open. His guns are gone." No panic, no tears, just facts, delivered like she was reporting a stolen car. I listened to that call 17 times, and every time, something felt wrong. Officers arrived to find her husband, Keith Gentry, in bed with a gunshot wound to the head. He was still breathing, barely. His wife, Darlene, was standing in the hallway, phone in hand, eyes dry, not trying to stop the bleeding, not holding him, just waiting. One of the officers said it best. "Something stinks about this." The scene did not up. No forced entry, and Keith's guns, supposedly stolen, were stacked in a neat pile by the door. Not scattered in a rush, stacked, like someone staging a scene they'd seen in a movie. Keith died that afternoon. Darlene never once asked if he was going to be okay. We brought her to the station that morning. No lawyer, no hesitation. She sat across from me in a gray room, fluorescent lights buzzing, her hands folded on the metal table. Too still. I asked her to walk me through the night, and she did, in perfect detail. A timeline recited without a single crack in her voice. Got home at 8, put the kids to bed, talked with Keith about bills, went to bed at 11, woke up at 6, saw the door open, the gun cabinet empty, then the blood. I leaned forward. "Were you scared?" She paused, just for a second. Her eyes flicked to the wall behind me, then back. "Yeah," she said.
After I saw the gun cabinet was empty. But that wasn't what she said on the 911 call. She was retrofitting emotion, adding it in. I kept her talking for 3 hours. The whole time, she never asked about Keith, never asked if he was alive. It wasn't until a nurse called me that Darlene finally went to the hospital. Keith's father was there. He said she cried a little, but not like someone who just lost their husband. I brought her back to the station. 30 minutes into the next round of questions, she stood up. "I want a lawyer." 3 weeks later, we arrested her, but we had a problem. No confession, no witnesses, and no murder weapon. Months passed. Darlene posted bond and went to live with Keith's parents, who still believed she was innocent. She played the part of the grieving widow, taking care of her boys, talking about moving forward, and that's when she made a call to a real estate developer. She wanted to buy some land, a fresh start. The developer, Robert Pavella, had a property with rolling hills, oak trees, and a pond. When Darlene saw it, she loved it. She called him the next day. "Does the pond come with the land?" she asked. He told her it did. "Perfect," she said. "Keith always wanted a place where the kids could fish." 2 weeks after her husband's murder, Darlene called the real estate agent, Robert. Same property, different request. "I still want the land," she said, her voice tight with a strange anxiety. "But fill in the pond." Robert asked why. "It's not safe for the kids." That was the call that changed everything. First, she loved that pond. Now, she wanted it erased. By then, we'd heard rumors about her case, about a missing gun. Robert called me. January 4th, 2006. Dawn broke gray and cold over a still, dark pond surrounded by oak trees. The dive team went in the water. The visibility was maybe 3 feet. Cold. Murky. 20 feet down, feeling through the mud and silt, they found it. Keith's .22 caliber pistol, wrapped in a towel, covered in silt. We had the murder weapon, but we still couldn't prove Darlene put it there. So we set a trap.
We told Robert to call her. Tell her the pond needed draining before it could be filled. Some permit issue. A lie. We were betting on fear, on the instinct of a killer trying to cover her tracks. We hid cameras in the brush, marked the exact recovery spot with a small wooden stick, and we waited.
She came 3 days later, January 7th. The surveillance timestamp reads 6:15 a.m. The fog was still thick on the water. A dark sedan parked on the service road. Darlene got out alone, wearing rubber boots, jeans, and carrying a long wooden stick. She walked straight to the water. No hesitation. She knew exactly where to go. She started probing the mud, a methodical push, pull, move 2 feet, and repeat. But her movements grew frantic, desperate. She leaned further over the water, almost losing her balance, plunging the stick deep into the murky bottom, right near our marker, the exact spot where we'd pulled the gun. She searched for 20 minutes, but she never found it. How could she? It was already locked away in an evidence room. The cameras caught everything, every step, every panicked, desperate movement. It was proof she knew exactly where that gun was, because she was the one who put it there. On February 8th, 2007, Darlene sat in the courtroom, composed, hair done, makeup perfect. The prosecution played the 911 call, showed the photos of the staged scene, walked the jury through her lies. Then they played the pond footage.
The courtroom went silent. There she was, projected on a large screen for everyone to see. Boots sinking in the mud, stick in hand, searching, right where we'd pulled the gun. Her attorney argued it was shock, trauma, that we decided she was guilty from day one. But the jury saw what I saw. A woman who shot her husband while he slept, staged a burglary that made no sense, called 911 like she was reading a script, and threw the murder weapon in a pond she later tried to erase. 5 hours later, the verdict came back. Guilty. 60 years. I've worked homicides for 23 years. I've seen a lot of killers. But Darlene was different. She never broke down, never confessed. She controlled every word, every reaction, every detail, right up until she couldn't control her fear. That pond was supposed to keep her secret forever. Instead, it became the one thing she couldn't walk away from. Keith Gentry should be 49 now, teaching his sons to hunt, taking them fishing. But he's not here, because the woman he trusted killed him in his sleep, then stood in the hallway, calm and composed, waiting for someone to find him, like it was just another morning. I still think about that pond, about how close she came to getting away with it. But killers always make one mistake. And Darlene's was believing she was smarter than the truth.